There have been multiple attacks on power stations across the country in recent months, and the corporate media, it's almost like they could not care less. Are you seeing any stories about it? I'll say the story. Well, the weather got so bad and the grid collapsed. Here's the truth about this story. In this case, give us the case and then let's talk about it.
Yeah, you had a couple of idiots up in Washington State who had the brilliant idea, we're going to attack the power grid, knock out the power, and then we're going to go rob a bunch of stores. So they successfully attack the power grid. They go into a store, they empty out the cash register.
It was $3 million worth of damages or something.
So now they're both facing possibly up to 20 years in prison just to take a little bit of cash out of a register there. But it does underscore the bigger problem. We have seen half a dozen attacks in the last month and a half. This is becoming a very serious problem.
We've been doing this story for 5 years, Farron. Yeah. We started doing this story a long time ago. And this is what people don't understand. First of all, in most countries, the state or government owns the power grid. In this situation, we've given it to private industry. And because we've given it to private industry, corporations, you have folks like NextEra or the biggest corporations on the planet that are saying, gee whiz, you know, we don't want to spend money to upgrade the grid. Why should we? So it's in disarray. They need to take and build infrastructures, but the private corporation wants to pay dividends. They want to buy stock back. Why should they rebuild infrastructure? This isn't something private corporations ought to be doing. And so right now, here's how bad it is. There are these numbers are crazy, but there are 50,000 key transformers in the country, okay, under this grid. If you take 10 of those key transformers out, the entire grid system collapses.
And I'm sure most people have seen, driving through your cities or, traveling on the roads, you'll see these little substations, and usually what kind of protection do they have? There is a chain link fence around the little power substation. So if you can overcome a chain link fence, you can knock out a power to an entire city in a matter of minutes. And of course, what we've seen so far has been a couple of, radicals all the way from Washington to North Carolina attacking these grids. But if we have people that want to do real harm, people that are competent criminals, I guess, or terrorists, they could knock out the power to this country in a heartbeat, and we'd be powerless to stop it.
Now, the real question in my mind, it's not a question in my mind because we've done the other side of it. The reason the media doesn't report it, the reason corporate media doesn't report it, take a look at the advertising. It's going to come from the big power companies, whether it's local, whether it's regional, or whether it's national. The big power companies are a big part of the local television programming. So they're not going to say, we've got Florida Power and Light and they're a disaster, the grid system's a mess. We've got NextEra that owns Florida Power and Light. Maybe they should pay better attention to the grid system. You don't see it. It all comes down to the dysfunctional nature of corporate media. Advertisers drive it and politics drive it. And otherwise, you're not going to see a story like this. Turn through the stations today, see how many times they're talking about it wasn't just about these nut jobs that were breaking in and trying to rob stores. It's about the power grid in general.
Well, you know what? That is a great point, because when you watch TV, especially local TV, your local ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, you see commercials for the power companies all the time. And you have to start thinking to yourself, wait a minute, I don't have a choice. Why are they advertising to me? They're the only ones here, so if I want electricity, I have to go to them. It's not because they're trying to get you to buy the product, it's because they're paying off the media.
That is a great angle. It's the same way with the weapons industry, with McDonald. Well, Raytheon goes on and they're talking about their Patriot missile, or whatever the missile of the day is. Am I going to go buy a missile? Why is Raytheon up there? They're trying to buy access to the media. That's what it's all about. Same things happen here. The 6-year-old boy who shot his teacher earlier this year apparently had a history of aggression towards teachers that school administrators totally ignored. This is a little psycho, man. This little kid needs to be not in school. This story, he tried to strangle another teacher the year before.
When he was 5.
When he was 5 years old, tried to strangle another teacher. And this, the people in charge, what was her name? Ebony Parker, said, we got to work around it. Didn't his parents used to have to come to school with him or something like that?
Yeah, and it was, I mean, this is just truly a disturbing story because those warning signs were there for a year. All of the other teachers had expressed concerns, the students had expressed concerns, and the parents go in and argue, well, you know, it was the administrators of the school said, well, we've got to protect all parties,
Oh, God
including
Almighty.
this, 5-year-old. And you almost want to feel sympathy for, but then you look at this and you say, something's not right here.
Oh, no,
This is a kid that just, maybe it's just evil. I don't know, but this is
don't you put him in
horrible.
an institution? I mean, don't you at least try to institutionalize? This is a kid tried to strangle a teacher till the teacher almost passed out.
Yeah.
The year before, he was 5 years old. Now, the day that the shooting took place, he was chasing other kids around the playground with his belt, trying to whip them in the head. Okay? And this Ebony Parker, this genius, says, oh, well, we just have to give everybody the opportunity to go to school. Really? How about the other parents? How about the other kids? They have the stake in this too, right?
Well, how about the 3 teachers on the day of the shooting, before the shooting happened, that told administrators, this kid has a gun? And so what happened was, after the second teacher told administrators, we've heard reports he's got a gun, they searched his backpack, but then one teacher said, well, I saw him before you searched it. He took something out and put it in his pocket. But they didn't bother to check his pockets. And so they looked.
He's 6 years
They
old.
looked in the backpack and said, well, there's no gun. And then a third teacher said, he has the gun in his pocket. Nobody looked in the pocket later. I mean, that school, everybody there should be fired, but they're going to be sued, I hope, to hell
Oh
and
my
back.
God, if Ebony Parker is still on the job right now, buddy, I'm telling you.
I'm pulling my kids out.
Well,
if they
not
were.
only that, the lawsuit just gets better. Not firing this woman and everybody that was involved, the lawsuit just gets better. There's going to be a lawsuit. Hadn't happened yet, but there's going to be a lawsuit. And I just don't get it. Yeah, do we want a kid to be able to, but not if he's got those kind of psychological problems. If the parents come in there and say, oh, well, my child needs a public education, we'll put him somewhere where there is better institutionalization, I guess is the best way to put it. There's something really wrong here, man.
There are public school programs that do deal with, more problematic children. They deal with the extreme aggression behaviors. I know my wife does it. Not that I want that there, but
Have you ever heard of anything like that around your,
no,
with your wife?
I mean, in any school that, she's worked in, any school I've been to, if a kid choked a teacher, that would be that kid's last day at that school.
Yeah, I can tell you the lawyer that's going to handle this lawsuit is hoping that they don't fire Ebony Parker and her staff. Because if they don't, and she's still in place when this lawsuit takes place, woe be that, it's going to be some bad stuff happening.